Hello and welcome to this NEWS9 special. A lot of stuff is happening in Karnataka, especially with the second list that has been out. A lot of rebellions that is brewing, a lot of firefighting that's happening, and even a family drama is at play. Now, disgruntlement within the Karnataka BJP ranks continues to grow, with more sitting MLAs losing out on their seats. One of the MLAs has threatened to expose corruption in the Basavaraj Bommai government when he has been denied the ticket by the BJP High Command. Now, after several tall leaders were sidelined and sitting MLAs were denied tickets, the mission to firefight rebels has been given to B.S. Yediyurappa. The party veteran has been called in to control the rebellion in Karnataka and to speak to the rebels. Meanwhile, the BJP has denied ticket to Yediyurappa's grandnephew, N.R. Santosh, leading to turmoil in his own family. Now, the BJP has also denied tickets to 3 people who engineered the collapse of the previous Congress-JDS coalition in the state. Now, with so much of firefighting that is happening and so much of issues that are there, let's in fact speak to the guest who's in our studio. We have Ajit Vijay Kumar, editor, NEWS9 Live. Ajit, when you see this entire drama that is unfolding, after the second list has come, it's like the BJP has just lit a 100-wala cracker. So many things are bursting at the same moment, and you have poor Yediyurappa asked to go ahead and say, please control the entire fire that we have lit, but you have to control it. It's not a very good position to be in, because on one side they have accepted your family demand of having Shikaripura seat being given to your son, but how would you be able to go and convince the others not to be against the party right now?
Right, so the BJP is in fact facing a big conundrum at the moment, and that's because their primary support base, so to say, were the Lingayats for at least 20 years now. Now what has happened is that they have checked out, and they know that just with the support of Lingayats and some support in the coastal belt, they would not be able to make it to the, bring the party to the majority level at least. And while they have set a target of 150 for them, for the party in these polls, I think the party high command clearly understands that for that to happen, they'll have to get others to join as well and vote for the party. And when we look at who are the others, right? So the obvious question is, or the obvious choice for them is the Vocaliga community, because they also constitute for around 15% of votes. But Vocaliga has many strong leaders from JDS and Congress, and that's why they are also looking at trying to break into the Ahinda vote, that is kind of controlled by Siddaramaiah. So all this party distribution and where key and very senior party leaders are being denied tickets should be looked at purely from the prism that BJP is wanting to expand its vote base.
BJP trying to expand its vote base. Let me get in Mahesh Chitnas as well as Gautam Shankar. Gautam, let me come first to you. Now, Ajit was in fact saying over here that the BJP was trying to get into the Ahinda vote base, which is technically controlled by Siddaramaiah. But they had an Ahinda face with them. They had K.S. Ishwarappa, who had started the Sangoli Rayana Brigade, was in fact trying to have an Ahinda base created for the BJP. But then it was seen as an outright rebellion against Yediyurappa as well as the others inside the BJP. How is it possible now to tap into that Ahinda base with Ishwarappa not there in the picture at all?
A couple of points here, Varghese. Like you rightly said, it's like BJP has set off a 100-wala cracker, and the heat is being faced not just by the BJP. The busiest man in Karnataka today happens to be the Assembly Speaker, Vishweshwar Hegde Kageri. He has a rush of MLCs, MLAs, and leaders of the BJP rushing to his office seeking appointment to resign. This is indicative of the situation that is happening. No one is as busy as him right now. And as we speak, this dissidence that we are seeing within the Karnataka BJP, this will definitely test the managerial skills of the party. As we know, they have this well-oiled election machinery that is spoken about a lot. But right now, what's happening is multiple power centers are competing for dominance. And this struggle within the BJP, it basically points to an absence of assertive leadership, which was provided by Yediyurappa, and he had all the factions under control. But this is no longer the case, and this sort of fight that we're seeing right now within the BJP. Right now, even Lakshman Savadi, as we are speaking, he is about to hold talks with DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. He is already spoken to Surjewala, so he is moments away from joining the Congress. So Savadi, as you understand, he played a crucial role in engineering defections that led to the formation of the BJP government in 2019. And a couple other names, like you mentioned, NR Santosh is one, Arvind Limbavadi, whereas Santosh has already been denied a ticket. Limbavadi's future hangs in the balance as well. So looking at all of this, it seems like BJP has to do a lot of firefighting now, and they will be looking at Yediyurappa chiefly to do this role.
Well, let's get in fact Mahesh Chitnis also. Mahesh, Gautam was mentioning about Savadi. What could be the Savadi impact in the Belagavi region? Savadi, if he makes it to the Congress, and if the Congress gives him the seat that he desires, that is Athani.
He holds a significant clout in at least around 4 assembly constituencies in Belagavi district, Varghese. So Athani will be a tough fight for himself, but he definitely holds significant influence in 4 constituencies in Belagavi. Chikkodi, Hukkeri, of course Athani, and Kagwad, where Sriman Patil, close aid of Ramesh Jarkiwadi is contesting from. So, it will be not an easy task for the BJP losing Athani. One thing, Varghese, that has to be noted here is the way BJP has handled, this entire episode of dissidents has not gone on well with the senior leaders. Everyone is saying one thing. They should have at least communicated to us that they are not giving ticket. From Jagadish Shettar to Lakshman Saudi, from Golihetti Shekhar to MP Kumaraswamy, everyone saying the same thing. There is no communication even before giving the ticket, even after the ticket. So that one thing has hurt the BJP leaders very badly. And that's why, most of them are not even speaking to the BJP leaders. Lakshman Saudi, on one side, CM Bommai, Yediyurappa were saying that we will try and pacify them. Lakshman Saudi openly said that there is no point in talking. You should have spoken to us in the very early stage. See, Lakshman Saudi and Jagadish Shettar were the members of state, election committee, where the tickets were finalized at the state level. Even then, they had no knowledge about some of the senior leaders being denied the ticket. So I think somewhere BJP have failed to manage this entire episode of dissidents, which are led to a big headache for them.
Well, interestingly enough, as you say, dissidence is growing, and the firefighting task has been given to Yediyurappa. Can probably 78-year-old Yediyurappa handle this situation over here? Because for him, he can meet them, but it looks like people like Savadi have decided to rebel. People with Ishwarappa might in fact show his disaffection in his city constituency. There has been only one time when the saffron votes have been divided. That is when Yediyurappa had moved and formed the KJP. Right. And then the Reddy brothers had formed the BSR Congress. That was a time when the saffron votes had been divided. But this dissidence, do you think will in fact eat into the saffron unity and its vote share as well?
I think, more than this, what is happening with the Lingayat community, because Savadi is also from Lingayat, he's a subsect of Lingayat, and Jagadish Shettar, of course, is a Lingayat, right? So I think, while we look at it from that perspective of these guys, having gone against the party, I think what has the party done, right? So the party has done in a manner where it has kind of replaced those Lingayat seats with other communities also. So like for example, Athani seat, right? So what has happened there is that the whole of Belagavi district is kind of controlled by a lot of very powerful families, right? So they're
landed
called,
families, in
yeah,
fact.
they are called sahukars,
landed
right?
Families,
Sahukars.
Yeah.
So the sahukar culture is there in Belagavi, and like the constituency where Savadi has been denied a seat has been given to the close confidant of Satish Jarikholi. So he is one of those sahukars of Belgaum, right? And he is not a Lingayat. He comes from the ST community. He comes from the Valmiki community. So while the BJP is kind of sure that at the end of the day, all Lingayats may end up kind of coming together and voting for it, they would want votes from others as well.
Okay.
Right?
So they are looking at where they can lose the votes and where they can gain
the
votes.
votes, right? Exactly, that's
so
the
they
point
don't,
there.
So the BJP strategy you're saying is not to keep all the eggs in one basket. Right now, it has
Correct.
been heavily dependent on the Lingayat community,
Correct.
but is trying to have a multiple base so
Correct.
that they have choices.
Right, and these all guys like the Jarikoli family and the Hukeri family, all of them are really rich. They all are sugar barons.
Barons also, yeah.
And they have captive vote banks. Because if you want to procure, sugarcane, then you have to go to the mill, right? So,
Yeah.
so these guys have captive audience, and I'm sure that if the BJP has gone ahead and cancelled Savadi's ticket and given the ticket to someone who is close to Jarikoli family, I'm sure that they would have made that calculation clear.
Well, let me go to Gautam. Gautam, there's something very interesting over here. The interesting issue over here is that the BJP, though it has fielded a lot of new members, they are mostly in the old Mysore region, and they have not fielded any leader from the Gowda community that can take on the entrenched JDS Gowdas. So why is it so? Is it a kind of olive offering saying that we might require the JDS in future for proper numbers if we don't meet it? So is it being a little lenient on that front?
Lenient is one way to put it, Verghese. What happened is BJP, there was a lot of vocal outreach saying that they are going to concentrate on the old Mysore region because this time around, consolidating just the Lingayat vote bank will not be enough to counter the anti-incumbency that the party is facing. They need to breach the South Karnataka region, which is dominated by the Gowda family. But their failure to find prominent faces in many of these regions and many of the 60 odd new candidates that have come in the two lists of the BJP is indicative of that there was a lot of push. Ashoka was given charge to try and be the Vokaliga face. That sort of strategy backfired, and their inability to woo, that also reflects heavily on the stranglehold that the Gowda family has over this region. And also, there were multiple polarizing tactics that were tried in the old Mysore region. We know about the Muri Gowda, Nanjay Gowda row that suddenly propped up, which the BJP had to quell immediately after a word by Nirmalananda here. So there has been an attempt, but this doesn't seem to have worked so far. And the BJP will definitely need to go back to the drawing books in a way to say just engineer a different strategy. But obviously now they have just about 12 seats left to announce. So it's critical that they at least try and get a sort of countermeasures going in the Dalit community, which they have done. They have announced a large number of SC/ST candidates and from the OBC. So the strategy of the BJP seems to be revolving now around caste politics rather than the ideology this time around. Whether it will work, we'll have to wait and see that.
Caste identity and.
But Gautam, I wanted to also check with you in terms of the old Mysore region, right? So while the Kumaraswamy family and the Gowda family, would want to be projected as the number one family in terms of Vokaliga vote, how do you think the influence of DK Shiv Kumar would play out in the old Mysore region?
Absolutely, Ajit. DK Shiv Kumar and Sidramaya, they have been working actively, not just over the last few months. They have been at least a few candidates that they have over there reflect that they are in a position to offer a bigger challenge to the JDS rather than the BJP as of now. And DK Shivkumar and DK Suresh, his brother, they have been very active in this whole atmosphere. And these two leaders have played a crucial role. And what's also indicative is that BJP is having to firefight by giving seats to people like V. Somanna to contest against Sidramaya in Varuna, and to take on DK Shivkumar, we have Ashoka going over there. So it seems more like the BJP is the party that is rattled, not the Congress per se. Whereas they are not going all guns out, all guns blazing against leaders like Bommai or any of the tall leaders. they are settled. They know that they are going to win their few seats over there. They just need to consolidate a little bit better than what they did in the 2018 election. And the Ahinda vote bank should do the trick for the Congress this time around.
But Gautam, I will just want to probe that point further with you. When you say that BJP has sent key leaders to fight, Siddaramaiah or DK Shivkumar or even Kumaraswamy, don't you think that it's also a strategy on the part of the BJP to kind of pin them to their constituency? While the BJP is quite sure that these guys are very strong in the constituency, like Varuna, for example, is home ground for Siddaramaiah. So I think the counter strategy is also working there, where the BJP is trying to limit their influence and there possibility of going out across the state and campaigning by putting very strong candidates in front of these three tall leaders from the opposition.
That's one way to look at it, Ajit. Try to pin down DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah to their constituencies. But do these leaders hold enough sway to be able to do that? Are Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar really worried about their seats? For example, in Varuna, even though after the delimitation, a large number of voters there continue to be the Lingayat vote base. They vote differently compared to the Lingayats in the northern Karnataka region. So Siddaramaiah will feel pretty safe, given that he also calls it his lucky seat, because after the victory there is when he became Chief Minister, and he will not be overly worried. And DK Shivkumar is called the Bande of Kanakpura for a reason. He is that sort of a leader that whoever contests there right now, it seems very unlikely that he will be perturbed. So this strategy of the BJP to give, and also keep in mind that both these leaders, V. Somanna and R. Ashoka, are contesting from 2 seats. If they were really serious about taking on Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, that wouldn't necessarily be the strategy. So Somanna has a safe seat in Chamarajanagar, but even that seems shaky at this point. Whereas Ashoka also has a seat in Padmanabh Nagar, which he will consider that he's going to have a good chance of winning over there. So all these reflect on BJP that maybe they are the ones who are rattled and maybe not the Congress this time around.
Well, also let me in fact get Mahesh. Mahesh, another big name in North Karnataka, Jagdish Shettar. It's been a kind of a doldrums for him when it comes to this elections. 6 times he's won from the constituency there, and he has also been a chief minister. Though he hadn't had reservations joining Bommai's cabinet, he has been a tall leader from the Lingayat community again. But then what will happen to Jagdish Shettar? Because he's met the central leadership, the state leadership is in talks with him. He has said that he has he's not been given a reason as to why he has been denied a ticket. All these factors have come into play. So what is going to be Jagdish Shettar's impact if he's denied a ticket? And if he's accommodated, does he tend to in fact reduce the kind of impact that Savadi's exit would have caused?
Dharwad district, consists of around 7 seats, in which BJP holds have won 5 seats and 2 Congress is representing. So it's a kind of a stronghold for BJP. At least Hubli Dharwad seat is a bastion of BJP. So there is no chance that even if Jagdish Shettar does not contest, any BJP leader is fielded, there is no doubt that he will not be winning. So when we say that if Shettar is denied a ticket, there are chances that BJP might be narrowing the margin of victory in the nearby constituencies, extending up to Belagavi, which has around 18 constituencies. And it might also hurt the Lingayat community. And I don't think so, BJP will be going to that far and take a risk when everything is going well for them, at least in the current scenario. I think, as Yediyurappa has mentioned, Yediyurappa himself had lobbied with the High Command, and he might get a seat in the 3rd list, which is expected tonight or tomorrow morning. But what is the strategy of BJP here is simple, as we can see in the 1st and 2nd list. I think they are trying to, looking at a long-term gains when they have given tickets to 64 new debutants. So, okay, when they say that around 85 people have been are the new faces who are contesting, who have been replaced in the 2018 polls who are not contested. So I think BJP is looking in a long-term strategy, and especially in the old Mysore region, at least they are trying to, make inroads in at least in strengthening the party. At least, if not in this election, definitely they are planning to gain some majority of votes in the next elections. And as you mentioned, the majority of the newcomers are from old Mysore region. And when you give some other normal party worker a ticket, that boosts the moral confidence of others as well, saying that, even everyone in the party has a chance to get tickets and to grow. And the party has this, strategy of saying when you have enjoyed everything. Yeah, Shettar was a speaker, MLA, minister, and chief minister. So when you have enjoyed everything, I think you must, give up the seat to the new face. I think that's what the
Mahesh,
party had, might have told Shettar.
Mahesh,
But he
in
has.
fact, Ajit also has a question for you. Yes, on this.
Mahesh, this whole idea of giving seats to new party leaders, that is what is being called as the way that they have done in Gujarat, for example.
Gujarat model,
to
as they
yeah
call
yeah
it.
to actually great success, right? And they also tried it in Himachal Pradesh, fairly to a great success there as well, and spectacular success in Uttarakhand, right? But my assessment is that this may really not work in Karnataka, right? Because Karnataka is much more, deeply ingrained caste equations work there, more than just the candidate, I think. So, what's your views on the Karnataka, point when it comes to trying and replicating the Gujarat model of changing so many, incumbent MLAs?
Ajit, I think BJP has not completely implemented the Gujarat model or Uttar Pradesh model. Only 15 sitting MLAs have been replaced as of now, and out of 15, four have already voluntarily retired. So particularly, there are only 11 MLAs who have been replaced, and out of the 11, two were facing corruption charges. So practically nine were replaced. So I don't think so. It's a large number to call it as a Gujarat model. But I think in every party that limited changes have been made in every elections. As I said earlier, I think BJP is going for a youth, to make it in a strategy in a longer way. See, after Yediyurappa resigned as chief minister in 2021, BJP tried to, come out of his own shadow and project party at the front. Yediyurappa was, were not allowed to go on a straight tour. And later, BJP made it a, party affair. And but once BJP realized that we cannot suddenly sideline Yediyurappa and we will have to wait for some time. So again, Yediyurappa was brought back into the parliamentary board and the central election committee, and he was brought back at the forefront of the election campaign.
Mahesh,
So I think BJP is looking at a longer run, and that is why they are trying to give more seats to the newcomers, especially the party workers, giving them hope that everyone will be given a chance, and seniors will be guiding them.
Mahesh, but the historical fact remains that every time the BJP got an opportunity to make its own CM, I think it was only once, and that they chose a Lingayat. In terms of this guy Vokaliga, in way of Sadanand Gowda, right?
Once they have
once, just once,
and that too for a year. He was again replaced by Shettar.
They have always gone with the Lingayat CMs, right? So when you say that they are trying to have an outreach in the old Mysore region, do you think that the party is also open to having a Vokaliga CM if they win, of course?
Ajit, BJP in the state have got 7 chances to become a chief minister. 4 times it was Yediyurappa, and once it was Sadananda Gowda and Jagdish Shettar and Bommai now. So I think BJP had not got a much of chance to experiment that. And when we say Lingayat, of course, these are the traditional voters BJP have enjoyed, and it did not wanted to upset the community. I think in the longer run, if BJP manages to, get some kind of votes in the old Mysore region and to woo the community, I think BJP might, give a CM seat to Vokkaligas. And when you say that Sadananda Gowda is a Vokkaliga, actually, speaking truly, he's not considered, the true Vokkaliga. He's a little bit, considered non-Vokkaliga when because he comes from the coastal region, and there are different subsects in the Vokkaliga community. And I think BJP since 2021, when during the Amit Shah's visit, has been trying to make inroads in the region, but not been able to do so. BJP has time and again projected some of the leaders, C.T. Ravi, R. Ashoka, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan, and try to project them as a Vokkaliga leader and to make inroads in the old Mysore region. But somewhere the BJP has not been able to make so. So one important thing to note here is why I say BJP is looking at a longer run is Vokkaliga basically vote for in the name of HD Devegowda mostly and not in the name of JDS. So I think in the next 5 years, once Devegowda completely retires from even active politics, I think BJP and Congress will be the two parties which will be fighting for the votes. I think that is when the BJP might be trying to capture the votes of Vokkaliga community.
Well, okay, there is one more very important factor that has opened up just ahead before Karnataka goes into elections, and that is when the Supreme Court on Thursday told the Karnataka government that reading of its order scrapping the 4% quota for Muslims in the state appears, and that is what the court said, to suggest that prima facie the foundation of its decision-making process is highly shaky and flawed. This was underlined by Justice K.M. Joseph heading a two-judge bench hearing a writ petition challenging the government order by El Ghulam Rasool and Anjuman-e-Islam. Now, the state has asserted that the constitution does not permit reservation on the basis of religion. Justice B.V. Nagaratna, the other judge on the bench, said that the state would have waited for the final report instead of issuing the government order on the basis of an interim report and sought to note the great urgency. However, with the state as well as the council appearing for some leaders of the Vokkaliga and Lingayat communities opposing any stay and seeking a few days to reply, the bench declined to grant any interim relief sought by the petitioners. Now, that is one big issue that had in fact rattled Karnataka as well, with several SC as well as ST tribes in fact coming out onto the streets and asking why they were not given that quota. Ajit, the court has in fact said that why there was an urgency. Second, prima facie, it looks like it's been done hastily. In other words, saying that just before the elections you thought about it. So how do you think this is going to impact when it comes to others who are looking for last-minute fixations where they would take reservations from one community, give it to others, split it so that they can get electoral benefits?
Right, certainly it's a setback for the BJP because they would have thought that this clear division of 4% to 2% is to Lingayats and to Vokkaligas.
And both are dominant communities.
Both are dominant communities, and as we were just discussing that they are trying to reach out to the Vokkaliga community in the old Mysore region. So I think it's a setback for them, but then this is also a lesson, I would say, in the sense of while you try to do this caste, the caste reservation fixes at the last moment just to get those extra votes. I think this is something, an idea, and rightly so, by the Supreme Court has been rejected.
Well, interestingly enough, they say that reservation cannot be granted on the basis of religion as well. So that has also been underlined, saying that it is not on religious factors, but still, what you did was hastily done.
Correct.
That is the this thing that they have taken.
Correct. And of course, while it is setback for BJP, and I think the biggest gainer would be the Congress because the Hindu vote includes the Muslim vote, and I think they will rally further. And this whole fear that the Congress has that there will be some bit of split of the Muslim vote between the Congress and the JDS would be averted by the full 4% going back to them.
Well, when we talk about the Muslim vote, Gautam, let come to you. We did see a very important leader from the Congress, CM Ibrahim, making an exit from the Congress and going to the JDS, and is now the prominent Muslim face of the JDS. But, this kind of judgment from the court over the quota factor, and do you think that Muslim votes will still be divided among the Congress and the JDS?
Well, Burgess, like Ajit rightly pointed out, this observations made by the Supreme Court will offer a rallying point for the Congress most definitely. Mainly because right now on an issue-based election here, the Congress had taken on over multiple things, but right now with BJP already facing dissidents and now having just quelled the fights among several castes, basically the Lingayat and the Vokkaliga communities demanding a higher percentage in the caste matrix. Now they will definitely start questioning. And the BJP strategy appears to have been that, okay, they could have put this legal tussle behind them at least until the elections. But the timing of it will definitely provide an upper hand for the Congress to maybe consolidate the Muslim vote bank, given that there are several players also like the AIMIM and the STPI that have come into the fray in Karnataka. And this now works in favor of the Congress, definitely.
Well, see, Gautam, you have the Lingayats, you have the Vokkaligas, you have the Kurubas, you have the Idigas, you have the Valmikis, you have the Nayakas. So many dominant caste systems and tribes that are there within Karnataka. So when we play with the quota, this was something, if you wanted to have some kind of fruit from this action, you should have thought about it much earlier, not just 6 months before you can go to an election. Because what it does is that it upset even the BJP's apple cart. For they have a huge Valmiki base, they have a huge Nayaka base. Even those communities will be wondering as to what is happening all of a sudden. Why is that the dominant communities have been given? And the Lingayats had a long term demand of placing themselves within a particular section of the OBC reservation quota, and that has not happened. Also, the court has denied that. So that has been a long term intention. But when playing quota politics, isn't it trying to upset the existing apple cart that where you have actually worked out the matrix in your favor?
Absolutely, Verghese. But also keep in mind, ever since Bommai took over from Yediyurappa, the whole strategy of the BJP changed into they sort of started pushing the Hindutva ideology in a massive way last year. We saw several issues like hijab, halal, Hanuman. These were the issues that dominated, but they seem to have learned the lesson. And when it comes to ticket distribution, they have reworked the strategy, looking at social engineering and ensuring that caste politics, caste identity politics will be at the forefront. When this is the situation, the observations made by the Supreme Court saying that this is inherently flawed, what the BJP government has done, will definitely be a blow, because this ticket system was engineered not around the ideology of the BJP this time around. It was mainly focusing on the caste politics. And that is reflective in the number of seats that have gone out to Lingayats, the highest number of seats that have ever gone out to Vokkaligas from the BJP, and the number of SC/STs that they have accommodated, and also the OBCs. So this this could prove to be a detrimental factor for the BJP going forward.
I think he's making a very important point. Because when it comes to the assembly elections, and we all know that, and there are a lot of examples of it, that people tend to vote differently.
Very differently.
And if you were also to go back to 2023 elections, and just before the Lok Sabha polls, the BJP had not done really well, right? But then when it came to the next year and 2019, it kind of swept the state, right? So I think this whole idea of Hindutva possibly working in Karnataka, I doubt it. More than that, it's more about the charisma of a leader.
Exactly.
So like earlier they had Yediyurappa. Now they are struggling to find someone to replace him.
Yediyurappa.
But then at the central level and for Lok Sabha, they have Modi, right? So one can't kind of put that, even if the BJP were to do not that well this time, possibly, and for sure they may end up doing exceptionally well when it comes to the Lok Sabha polls.
Well, that is the significant part of BJP in Karnataka, because Yediyurappa was the technical regional leader of the BJP.
Correct.
He had emerged as a regional leader of the BJP, and that is why we did see the lotus bloom, because it was on local factors that Yediyurappa had placed the BJP within Karnataka. But then the other issues, let us in fact take a look at, especially when it comes to the Muslim quota. We have seen SDPI, we have seen AIMIM also enter the fray. Most of them are looking at coastal Karnataka. Most of their seats are also, they are looking at coastal Karnataka, and of course in Bengaluru, which has 28 assembly seats. So coastal Karnataka and Bengaluru is what they are mostly trying to focus on. Coastal Karnataka having a history of communal polarization. SDPI and AIMIM, is it a worry for the Congress? Because we have heard talks about how they're trying to negotiate back doors with the SDPI as well as the AIMIM. But how do these factors play in? These splinter Muslim parties who come into an election, how do they play on the electorate?
Right. One thing that is there when it comes to the Muslim vote, I would say, and this is purely, mostly true in the south of India, is that they vote tactically. So they kind of end up voting for the candidate that they are sure that will be able to trounce the BJP. And I'm sure that they are, the voters there for sure know that the SDPI or the AIMs of the world can't take on the strong, base that BJP has in coastal regions. So I think while they may kind of look like an irritant, but then I don't think so they will be able to do much of damage to the Congress and its prospects, whatever it may be in terms of how the BJP is so strong there in coastal Karnataka. And even I think in the last election, one of the best regions in terms of their, overall vote percentages for the BJP was coastal Karnataka itself.
All right. So that is interesting enough. In fact, the last question, I'll give it to you, Mahesh. North Karnataka has been the seat of the Bahmani Sultans. There is an Islamic heritage in North Karnataka as well. And the recent quota politics has played into that. How do you see the North Karnataka Muslims seeing this quota war all about? Is it the same as they view in South Karnataka also? Or do they have a different way of looking at it?
I think significant Muslims who have voted for BJP in North Karnataka, Varghese, interestingly. And AIMIM have recently made inroads into the Hubli Dharwad corporation, cutting into the Congress votes, which during the 2022 corporation elections. AIMIM is concentrating on Hubli Dharwad, and SDPI is concentrating mainly in Mysuru and coastal Karnataka, and with the third player, Aam Aadmi Party, is contesting election this time. All the 224 seats will also be, might play a minor dent in the Congress votes when it comes to the overall secular votes that the Congress is banking on. But overall, I don't think so it will have any impact on the BJP. But the worry is for the Congress and some part for the JDS.
Right, Mahesh, but looking at the overall picture, Varghese, I think while we discuss Yadurappa and the decisions and BJP, and I think there's one more big challenge that the Karnataka government, the Karnataka electorate will have to decide on, is who between Siddharamaiah and DK Shivkumar. I think because that's one thing that people are not discussing that much, but it will actually play out eventually in terms of what happens if the BJP loses.
Okay, that is in fact quite interesting statements coming. Thank you, gentlemen, for in fact giving us those kind of an insight into this entire situation in Karnataka. Day by day, so many factors are happening. It's not what we discussed yesterday, is what we are seeing today, because something or the other keeps changing, and that's how an election dynamics in fact works. With that, it's a wrap on this special program. On the other side, keep tuned to News 9 programs.